Okay. Hey guys, sorry about the delay. We're having technical difficulties. As always. Um so, Danny, hi. How you doing? Um we'll be up and running in just a second. An arena with its lights on. Everything.
I feel like it somehow is. I feel like it's like cosmically my fault. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Actually, let's do this. Okay, here we go. Now Annie can join us for certain readings. Gotta tell you guys though, Harmon tricked us. He said he requested his memoir. And it turns out he doesn't even have a fucking memoir. Can you believe that shit? Oh man. Yeah, sorry that took so long. We've been trying to use Annie's new computer to do these sounds of theater lives. That's terrible. There we go. Still not completely okay, but all right. Sorry. So yeah, she's using Safari instead of Google Hangout or Google Chrome because she just got the computer and she doesn't really know about browsers, which one's good and whatever. So yeah, we couldn't get the Google Hangout to work on that for whatever reason. Do it again. Okay. See that? Doing acrobatics and shit on her entrance.
Bonsoir, mon amies.
All right. So we were just talking about how Harmon tricked us.
Yeah, what a jerk.
Yeah, what a jerk. But
Oh, I need my iPad, don't I? Hold on.
he says you can read from my work in progress, just the first chapter called Heroes Anonymous. And the first chapter is short and fun, or some of Hunter from Zero Patient, which isn't worth recording, but would be disturbing because it's first person and he speaks in rhymes. What do you guys think? Which sounds good to you? Yeah, that fucker. That faker. I think we should. I want to preview his new shit. Let's see.
Do I have the right headphones in my ears? Yes. Why'd you give me these?
Because if you use the ones from my computer that are hanging on that microphone,
They're plugged into something else.
will feedback like crazy, and our brains will melt.
Oh. Well, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer for that to not happen. So, all right. So I think we're gonna preview his new stuff. So I'm gonna wait till he gets that to me. For now, we're going to start up. We're going to start up one of the other requests. So what do we have today? We have Riftworlds Online Book 1 Space Opera Insertion by Brian D. Howard and The Apprentice of Arabella by Matthew Kent. And I don't know if you guys saw the thumbnail. It shows the covers for both of those books. You guys need to invest in better covers, I think. They're just not that good. Not that good. So I'm just gonna. You guys trust me? I put the links to the two books in the description below. You can go check them out if you want to, but we'll see how well they're written here as I perform them. Let's see. What do we got going on? I got to find it in the email. Arcane Kingdom. Oh, it's been a while since we got this, got emails about this. Clan's Honor.
Where is everybody? By the way, I mean, how many people are
We got
here
10 people
with us?
watching.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hi, guys and girls, or whatever you people are.
I'm gonna give you a tab as well so you can watch.
Cool.
Chat.
Cool.
And
Bam.
Oh wait, no, chat's
Tonight. I've got so much chat up in my face right now.
Let me, I'll just do this.
Okay.
Is that better, easier to see that way?
Yeah, I guess so. Yep.
All right. By the way, what was it like doing the ritual with all the random symbols needing to be sung in tempo? Random symbols. Well, they were words. They were made up words, I think, or maybe they were like nonsense Latin or something. Okay. Sorry, I gotta look up Riftworlds because I can't find it in my email. Riftworlds. Oh, it's not showing up. Let's see. Riftworlds. Okay. Do I need to put a space? Riftworlds. No. Okay, we can't read Riftworlds. Apprentice of Arabella. Let's see if that's still there in my email box. Here we go. The Apprentice of Arabella by Matthew Kent. That's what we're going to start on. I'm going to forward this to you, Annie. That should be on its way now. All right, James, self-educated, considers himself a blue-collar type, slight southern drawl, nervous around women. Loudmouth, brash, self-confident, a bit of an ass, slight New York or Jersey accent. Okay. We'll just quantum that one. Malik or Malik? Malik. Sick. Character is black, gay, slight lisp, 6'4", 325 pounds, effeminate, male. All right. Ira, sexy. I guess that's Oh, okay. Ira. Ira? Aira? Eira. I don't know how to pronounce that. Okay, so this is for you, Annie. Sexy Asian American,
Okay.
more Midwestern accent. Knows she's hot, very self-confident.
Ira.
I think you can handle that.
Yeah.
Antoinette. I hope this is not a misspelling. It says Antroinette.
Antranet.
Antroinette.
Amtranet.
And
Antranet. Like internet. Antronet. It's like if
It's
Antoinette
probably,
and the internet had a baby
yeah, exactly.
and the
That's
baby made an
adorable.
entrance out of
Babies
the
are
internet.
adorable in every context.
Ooh. Yeah.
Okay, country girl, straight shooter.
That's Antranet.
That's Antoinette.
Okay.
And Louise, Midwestern accent, Virginia, Charleston, Southern Belle. What?
Virginia, Charleston, Southern.
Completely different thing.
Wait.
How-
Say it again. Say it again.
It says Midwestern accent, but then it also says Virginia, Charleston, Southern Belle.
This is Louise.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Southern Belle accent.
Okay. All right. You do that.
Because there's already a Midwestern accent. So God, so there's three women. I have to remember who they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to remember hard.
Antoinette. That's gonna be hard. Tell them. Let's have a recap. So
recap. Ira. I'm gonna say Ira.
Ira, she's hot and she knows it, and she's very confident. She's got kind of a Midwestern thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Antoinette is
country girl, straight shooter.
Country girl, straight shooter. Country girl, straight shooter.
And Louise is the Southern Belle.
The Southern Belle. Okay. Oh God. Okay. Oh God.
All right. Okay. Still haven't heard from Harmon yet, but hopefully he'll have that preview of his new stuff soon. That's really cool, and I hope that people start like yelling at each other and telling each other that we're gonna preview Harmon's new shit here. All right. So I guess this is first person, and I'm going to look at myself. Okay, James, self-educated, considers himself a blue-collar type, slight southern drawl, nervous around women. Okay. This is this is The Apprentice of Arabella by Matthew Kent. Fortunately, I knew to follow downstream. It will usually lead to a village or town. That's a survival tip for you. What people don't tell you is that the stream is a draw for animals, the cute and cuddly, and their fierce predators. While I wasn't a tracker, I could figure out most of the tracks I had seen around the stream. I knew the rabbit tracks, the fox tracks. I'd killed a few wolves already, so I could spot theirs. Then I saw a large track that was 2/3 the size of my foot. The pad of the foot was broad, 4 toes, and 1 big toe. I swallowed hard. I was lucky the forest I was in was old growth. I could see a few clearings with felled trees, most likely from storms. That meant the trees were further apart and were hardwoods. This gave me good sight lines, and I could see that the tracks led to the northwest, away from me. How could I tell it was northwest? The compass on the map function. But that meant the bear was going in the general direction I was going in. I continued to walk. I spotted 2 wolves. They were a little away from me, so I activated Levitate and rose into the branches of a pine tree, one of the few in the wood. Then I used the ability to haul myself through the trees over to them. This was a useful spell, though it was draining to my mana. I was going to say to my mama.
My mama.
I was this close. Though it was draining to my mama. When I was in range, I sat in another pine tree to regain my mana. Then I aimed at the first one and let loose with a magic missile. Critical hit. Oh, you want to do
A
the
magic missile, eh?
you
Sure,
want to do the prompts here?
sure.
All right.
Critical hit, magic missile hits for, sorry. Critical hit, magic missile hits for 50 damage.
I let loose another.
Magic missile hits for 24 damage.
I saw the wolf's HP bar drop by half. I fired again.
Magic missile does 13 damage.
The wolf was scrabbling at the base of the tree. I kept shooting him until he dropped. That's you.
What? Where? Sorry, what?
Congratulations.
Oh. Congratulations. Level 5 Grey Wolf has been slain. You receive 53 XP.
My mana was 3/4 gone, but I had a dead wolf. I rested, then descended and collected my prizes. Wolf meat, a pelt, 1 brain, slightly fried, and a few teeth. I stored it all in my pack, then climbed up the tree and repeated the process all over again. I had been up the tree killing wolves for about 10 minutes when I heard a crunching in the woods. I had gained nearly a full level, and I was feeling full of myself. So when I saw that bear, I smiled, knowing I could take him with my tactic. I took careful aim, thinking just where I wanted my missile to hit him. Then I let loose.
Magic missile hits for 14 damage.
That did it. I aggroed the bear, and it came running. There I was up in my tree, and was congratulating myself that there was nothing he could do as I shot magic missiles at him from safety. I yelled out, "Death from above!" But the bear wasn't so impressed. Now, just a joke for you. How do you know how to tell the difference between a brown bear and a grizzly bear? Well, in Arabella, what you do is climb a tree and shoot it with the magic missile. If it climbs the tree and eats you, it's a brown bear. If it pushes the tree over and eats you, it's a grizzly bear. This one started to climb, and I thought to myself, that's not good. I pulled my short sword and shot it one more time.
Magic missile hits for 23 damage.
I'm pretty sure the system was mocking me, but next I tried cutting pieces of limbs and throwing them at the bear as it climbed. I kept working my way to the top of the tree, throwing things at the enraged bear. You know, there are levels of anger above enraged. I was sure I would experience them. The tree we were in was a pine that was about 60 or 70 feet tall, so as we climbed, the tree bent over. It was to the point it had bent about 40 to 45 degrees, with me hanging on for dear life, trying to climb away from an enraged bear. I did the only thing I could and used levitate. When I did, the tree sprung back, whipping me with the limbs.
You take 2 damage. You take 3 damage. Critical hit. You take 10 damage. You take 7 damage. You take 5 damage. Critical hit. You take 10 damage.
While it hurt, I got off luckier than the bear. The jolt of the spring was enough to dislodge him and flee him off the tree in a slight parabolic arc. He was about 300 pounds, I'd guess, but as he shot out from the tree and fell, he bawled out fear the entire time. I dropped as fast as I could with levitation to avoid the tree coming back. I heard a loud thump in the woods.
Critical hit. You do 250 HP damage. You have defeated a level 8 bear. Your luck has increased by 1. You have gained a level in magic missile.
What's so funny about magic missile?
It just sounds like a penis, okay? It sounds like a penis.
Does it?
I mean, it sounds like a really, really dorky, over-the-top name for penis, yes.
Okay.
I mean,
Never heard that.
maybe I just have penis on the brain. Magic missile. Oh, it's because I saw this woman, this preacher lady. I saw her on YouTube talking about how the penis is a heat-seeking missile, and that it'll make you.
It'll make you what?
It's really good. She's like, she was talking about this woman who.
For some reason it cut out.
She was talking about a woman who told her that she spontaneously slapped her man while they were having sex because she started imagining him doing those things to another woman, and she was just out of control and she just slapped him. And this woman was talking about the dangers and the power of the penis and how it's
Like
an
magic.
encoded. Yeah, she went on. She had some really choice words for it, but one of them was heat-seeking missile. So that's surely why I keep thinking about a penis every time I hear or say the word magic missile.
Okay. That's good to know. Good to know. I will use that. Okay. I rushed and moved to find the bear's remains. It had landed among some boulders. Its body lay crushed and bleeding. I shook my head, but still I took my trophies from it: a large hide, the scrambled brains, some teeth, and bone shards. I realized I couldn't keep counting on my luck to save me. I knew that would never happen again. Sighing, I decided I should climb a tree and log out for a bit. I needed to eat and figure out how to get some new clothes. As I climbed, I noticed that the boulders weren't the only stones in the area. In fact, they looked like the start of a village. It was time to log out and to strategize. After I crawled into the shower and cleaned myself up, I headed for some lunch. Once more, I sat and read through the gaming guides. They had a wiki page, and I was reading about crafting when I heard a thump at my table and looked up. Okay, and now I have to look up who this person is. Loudmouth. Okay, it's Loudmouth. Think. Yep. All right. Go away, ad. Thank you. Look, if it isn't a noob. It was a tall, lean man with brown hair, nope. Okay, this is Malik. Look, if it isn't a noob. It was a tall, lean man with brown hair, dark skin, and from his tone an attitude. Can I help you? I said blandly. Yeah, this is our table. I looked around and noticed there were more empty tables than full. Oh, whatever. I sighed as I got up and moved my tray. And that's how you get rid of noobs, the loudmouth said. I looked at Min and smiled before I replied with a quote from the Odyssey. To be angry is easy, but to be angry at the right man at the right time for the right reason is difficult. I can't tell who is supposed to be talking here. What was that? He said, as one of his friends smirked and waved him down. I wasn't sure if it was for him or the bully boy. What? I wasn't sure if it was for him or the bully boy. I don't know what that means. For me or the bully boy? Okay. Moving a few tables away, I sat with my back once more to the wall and continued my researches into crafting. I'd bookmarked a few pages, including a page on brain-tanned leather, to which I apparently had a month-long patent. I figured I could make a lot of money on it in that first month. At about the time I had finished and looked up Amazon for clothing, I saw Ira grace the door with Malik and 2 or 3 other players. So I guess that was supposed to just be Loudmouth the whole time. Sorry, dude. That was not clear. I heard Malik point me out to Ira and the others in the group. They got their food and headed my way. Fortunately, I had finished with lunch when they sat down. I acknowledged them as I finished my order for 2 pairs of pants, socks, underwear, and 3 shirts. 300 credits I hated to spend, but I thought these would be the last clothes I bought for a long while.
Shit. I thought it was me.
Nope. How goes your search for a world quest, Malik? I asked, preempting his own unasked question. Not so well. Right now, we were cleaning out a bear's den. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? I quirked an eyebrow. Yeah, I had a run-in with a bear earlier. They laughed. Ira chimed in with,
Yeah, sometimes you eat the bear, Arabella. Most days, it eats you.
her friends nodded and laughed at that. Ira continued.
Oh, this is James, everyone. James, this is Virginia, Antoinette, and Louise. Lois? Louise. Lois.
It's supposed
Louise.
to be.
Louise. It is Antoinette.
It is Antoinette. Disappoint. Okay.
Antoinette.
I waved and smiled shyly. They were all fantastic-looking women. Virginia was short, red-headed, and well-built like a gymnast. Antoinette was blonde, buxom, and girl-next-door pretty. Louise looked like a blonde pixie. Hi, was all I could squeeze out. They sat around me, and I got the feeling I was back in the high school my grandmother told me she went to back in the day where there was the nerds table, the jock table, and the cool kids table. So, oh, that's you.
So, how went your farming and leveling today?
Ira said as she dug into a salad. I shook my head. Not bad, but I'm not even sure where I am. I haven't found a quest giver yet. Virginia seemed to choke on that, but I continued to speak in the hopes it would distract them from there being a nerd at the table. I managed to level skin in some, and I managed to patent a new pattern, so I have that going for me when I get to a town.
You what?
Came from Louise, and
Bullshit.
left Antoinette's mouth. I discovered brain-tanned leather and handed them my tablet after I opened the wiki article. Malik snatched it away and read, Brain-tanned leather. A new pattern discovered in the game by Lorcan. 30-day patent? Holy. I gave him a half-hearted smile when he looked at me, then read quietly, Oh my God, it's a blue resource. Oh, crap. I didn't mean to say anything because I'm so new and I was feeling nervous because of the girls and I didn't want them to think I was trying to unduly impress them. I could feel a blush coming up my cheeks as they all gave me funny looks.
No, that's incredible.
Ira said, and the others nodded. Thanks, was all I could say. Look, I'm not used to people noticing me or my accomplishments. It's kind of the lot of an artisan. As soon as the work has been done, you fade into insignificance. So, anyway, I need to figure out where I am. I logged out after climbing a tree. Just as I logged out, though, I noticed an abandoned village of tumbled-down stone huts. So, I'm hoping that may lead me somewhere. They all nodded.
It's strange that they would have started you out in an area like that.
Lois said. I agreed, but shrugged. I guess the developers had their reasons.
Like what?
Okay, wait a minute.
Wait, who's Virginia?
Okay. Louise has a Midwestern accent. Virginia
Is the
Southern
Belle.
Belle. Okay.
So then wait, who's Antoinette?
Antoinette is the country girl, straight shooter.
Okay, now wait a second. So tell me again, Virginia has the Southern Belle and Louise is what?
Louise is Midwest, same as...
Two Midwestons. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's strange that they would have started you out in an area like that. It's strange that they would have started you out in an area like that.
Louise said. I agreed, but shrugged. I guess the developers had their reasons.
Like what?
Virginia asked. I don't know. Maybe for me to learn the class better, since I'm reliant on the 2 spells and 3 songs I started with. I sighed. And a hell of a lot of work. They laughed. No, seriously, my luck has been incredible. I related to them my bear story. Some of the girls guffawed, while others looked from amused to horrified.
Bear,
said Louise.
Don't mind her.
Antoinette chimed in.
She plays a druid and she loves animals.
I nodded, but then excused myself when Ira put her hand on my arm.
Oh,
I can't hear you.
James. Oh, James. We're all members of the guild. We're all members of guild. We're all members of a guild. Would you be interested in joining? Sorry. Back it up. James, we're all members of a guild. Would you be interested in joining?
I know little about guilds, and from my modern experience of art guilds, I've always wound up regretting being a member. They laughed.
No, it's nothing like that. What we do is support each other and help one another out.
She said, as she pointed each of the members out.
Right now, there are just over 200 members in the guild, and this cluster.
I wasn't sure a guild was the right idea for me right now, but you never know. Tell you what, send me a message in game and I'll consider it. I need to get back. That village won't investigate itself. I know they thought I didn't catch the looks they gave each other, but I did in the reflection of the polished doors. It was the look one got when they were about to take ownership of something. I remembered that look from wealthy patrons who set their eyes on acquiring me. I had to be more careful. There were things going on here that I didn't understand.
Oh,
Who
that is just a random person, I guess.
Okay.
Watch out for Valkyries!
I heard a voice whisper.
Watch out for Valkyries!
I heard a voice whisper as I left the cafeteria. I looked over to where it came from. Brown hair, brown eyes, coffee-colored skin, and a cute nose along with a symmetrical face. I nodded as the door closed to the others. Yeah, I looked back, then back at the cafeteria, then at her. Something's not right with them. I think they think I'm their new cash cow.
Just remember, leave in-game. In-game. They like to take over quests,
She said, as she went around me and down the hall, ending the short conversation. Just what I needed, said no one ever. Politics. Okay, so that's it. I found just the doing his character voice. I felt like he had a good rhythm going on with the narration, and it felt natural to me. But at the same time, there's a lot of typos happening. Yeah, it needs some work, man. But hey,
you are blurry.
It's not terrible. Am I blurry?
Yeah. Oh, now it's focused.
You're blurry. Okay, so
good one.
So yeah, so if you guys want to keep checking out that book, if that sounded interesting to you, check the description below. There's a link to it. It's not doing too bad. I think it's maybe got 12 ratings so far on Amazon. So congratulations on that, Mr. Matthew Kent. And now
Dave says he doesn't think you're wearing pants.
It's okay for him to think that. I'm okay with that. Real World Online. Well, what is this? Oh, okay, it's Riftworld. Okay. So I have 2 different chapters to choose from here. Let's go with chapter 1. No, you know what? Let's go with chapter 17 because it's just going to be more fun. And I will forward this one to you. Bam. And let's check on Harmon, see if he's sending me the shit or not.
What? Did you send me something?
Yeah, I sent it to your email.
You sent me a second one.
Harmon's like, oh, will do before Wednesday.
Yuck, 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 yuck.
The show is happening right now.
It's happening exactly right now. All right. All right. What's going on here? What is this? What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? What?
What?
This is the meaning of this. I'm just practicing my Yorkshire accent while I wait for my instructions.
Harry Potter, Harry Potter.
For my instructions, I'm Harry Potter. 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 I'm sorry, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Wants me to do these things.
Sorry, Danny says chapter 1 is the one that was top 3. 17 is another entry. All right.
Oof, oof.
I'll send you that one too then. Oh, by the way, guys, if you're just joining us, you see that a memoir by Harmon Cooper is listed on this Sound Booth Theater live.
But that shit weren't real.
But that shit weren't real. Harmon tricked us.
We were tricked.
He's laughing his ass off right now, and he should be sending us a goddamn compensation reading of his new work. What was it called again? Heroes Anonymous. So hopefully he will do that before the end of the show. Okay, let's see. All right, did you get the second email?
Yeah. Background. Our main characters.
Okay.
I'm wearing pants, by the way, guys. Shorts. I'm wearing shorts. Unlike Jeff, who is wearing no pants whatsoever.
None.
Dave was right.
Just hanging out for everyone to see.
I don't know how David knew that, but
all right. Our main character. Okay, so this is Riftworlds Online Book 1 by Brian D. Howard. And we have a first-person narration going on here. Rick, or Max, first-person narrator. Our main character, Rick Danberg, is a 22-year-old gamer who ended up in prison after a currency manipulation fiasco. He's a college student about to get in over his head. He's normally fairly confident and likes to think of himself as more charming than he probably is. Oh, there's more directions. Here we go. Bruce, the prison guard. Gruff. He's a prison guard who probably enjoys his position of authority. Agent Wald, Secret Service. Dara Wald is professional, serious, and stern. If Tommy Lee Jones' character from Men in Black were a woman, this would be her. You get to be Tommy Lee Jones.
I'm sorry, I'm reading these comments. They're distracting me. Full commando cast. Okay, who am I? Sorry, what?
You are going to be Agent Wald, Secret Service agent. Dara Wald is professional, serious, and stern. If Tommy Lee Jones' character from Men in Black were a woman, this would be her. You remember Tommy Lee Jones from Men in Black?
Did he have a southern accent?
A little bit.
The way that Tommy Lee Jones does. Okay, so I'm like a female Tommy Lee Jones. What's her name?
Dara Wald.
Dara Wald.
Yep. Secret Service Director William Thomas, bureaucrat with clout and power. A younger, heavier Donald Sutherland. Okay, Donald Sutherland.
He's got like a deep voice.
Oh yeah. I know who that is. Okay.
You British?
Kiefer Sutherland's dad.
Yeah.
Agent Smith, mid-20s, dork with a nasally voice. President Angela Hearn, confident, authority, a stateswoman, keeping calm in a difficult situation. Okay. Cool.
Guys, I want you to see what I'm looking at. Look at that ass.
What are you? Oh, I see.
Can they see the ass?
I'm sure they can. Yeah.
Look at that.
Have you just been staring at that the whole time?
I have. I went into a bit of a trance. That's funny to me. They're the perfect mixture of funny and attractive.
What, his ass cheeks?
Yeah, just butts, just butts in general.
Oh, okay.
They've got like the attractive quality and the funny quality. It's a double whammy.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Sorry, guys, you probably didn't want to see that butt.
I'm sure there.
Which is why I showed it to you.
Okay. Yeah, she wasn't looking at mine. Yeah, that's right. Thanks.
But I am now. That is one bare butt. I cannot tell you how naked that ass is.
Benjamin Wagner, and he has some beautiful legs.
Thank you, Benjamin Wagner.
Okay.
I'm Harry Potter.
All right, let's get on with Riftworlds.
Okay.
By Brian D. Howard. Okay, here goes.
Wait, what's my person's name again?
You have Dara Wald and Angela Hearn.
Angela Hearn.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Chapter 1. April 23rd, 2028.
For one.
Yeah, I sent you another email.
Oh, shit. I've been looking at the wrong thing. No wonder I couldn't find the text that you were reading. Didn't you send me 3?
Yes, there's...
Okay. Here we are. Okay. Thank you.
Dave says, I'm going to be hearing I'm Harry Potter in my sleep.
I'm Harry Potter.
That's how you develop a good British accent. Just say that.
Okay. Dara Wald and Angela something.
Angela Hearn.
Okay. And what is she again?
She's like a politician.
Okay.
Super confident and
Dara Wald's the Tommy Lee Jones and Angela Hearn is the politician. Got it.
Yes. Chapter 1. April 23rd, 2028. Started out ordinary, like every other day for the past 916 days. Lights on at 6 o'clock. Stand in your cell until everyone's counted. Breakfast at 6:15. Sick call starts at 7:15. Work call at 7:30. Your day gets scheduled to the minute. It's a routine you get used to quickly. I doubt FCI Otisville is too different from any other federal prison. That day, at 6:35, we sat around the chow hall at tables with hard, round, attached stools, grown-up versions of the tables I remembered from first grade. Few of us bothered talking as we shoveled watery gray eggs and stale toast into our mouths. The new guy complained, just like every other morning this week, about the lack of coffee. It's prison. What did he expect? But ordinary wasn't destined to last long that day. Okay, so I have to review these characters.
What does it say?
Okay, Bruce, the prison guard, gruff. All right.
Bruce.
Danberg, get up.
Hands.
You got a visitor. No, hollered. Danberg, get up. You got a visitor.
So loud.
Sorry. Bruce hollered. Not that Bruce is his name. To everyone else, he's Officer Hofstetter. Don't see them as people, a more experienced inmate warned me early on. But this CO, corrections officer, was nicer than the rest, so I gave him a name. Bruce isn't a bad guy for a prison guard. I bet he's a friendly guy on the outside, but with us, he's quiet. No fraternizing and all that, but he'll loiter and watch the card games and sometimes chuckle at a dramatic win or loss. He's a poker guy. I'm more a blackjack guy, but poker has grown on me. Blackjack is a little easier to count cards and know when not to push your luck. Poker feels a little more dangerous. Sometimes I kind of like that. In prison, you're either a number or a last name. Behave and you get to be a last name. I'd done a good job of not getting into trouble, as long as you don't count those first few weeks. But I was only 19 when I was arrested. At almost 22, I knew better. 2.5 years out of 9. That was how long it had been since anyone called me Rick. If someone did, would I even realize they were calling me? But his announcement told everyone something unusual was going on. Visiting hours didn't start until 10, and today wasn't even a visiting day. That meant either lawyer or cops. I would have I would have bet hard and long against lawyer. I would have bet hard and long against lawyer. Mine was about as useful as a marked deuce. So I followed Bruce, leaving half of my breakfast behind.
Wonder what that's about,
Someone grumbled as I walked away. His curiosity wasn't genuine. I asked, as Bruce led me through a doorway I hadn't been through for 2.5 years. He didn't say anything as other guards buzzed us through 2 more doors until only one more stood between me and the outside world. I'd assumed by that point I was being brought for some unannounced court thing, but the woman in that final checkpoint space was no lawyer and no court bailiff. She stood like a soldier, more so than the prison guards. No, they stood with an overt authority. She stood with a disciplined confidence in a casual black suit, silver-rimmed black sunglasses poked out the top of a breast pocket.
That's me?
Yep.
Sternberg. Agent Wald. I hereby remand custody of inmate 55169B, Danberg Richard, to the Secret Service.
Now, for one, I'd never heard Bruce sound so formal. Oh, okay, that's Bruce.
Agent Wald, I hereby remand custody of inmate 55169B, Danberg Richard, to the Secret Service.
Now, for one, I'd never heard Bruce sound so formal. For another, Secret Service? How could that possibly not end badly? I sighed and stuck my hands out for standard procedure cuffing.
Am I going to need them?
She asked with distaste dripping off her tongue.
Am I going to need them? Sorry.
Gulping and saying no really is the only reasonable reaction in a situation like that, right? Because that's exactly what I did. She stood aside, clearing the way to the exit. The buzz of the door being unlocked did not ring of freedom.
Walk,
she ordered. The East Coast morning sun was bright and warm against the chill morning air and exquisite. Yet I still turned and looked back at the door closing behind us. Things in there were predictable and understandable. Everything worked on a system, on a schedule. You could rely on that. By contrast, I had no idea what was going on or what to expect. She put her sunglasses on with a one-handed style that broadcast confident and cool. I bet she swaggered when she walked. But she stayed behind me on the walk to the tilt-rotor helicraft. I climbed in at her prodding, and she secured the hatch behind us.
Strap in.
She conserved words like she'd only been issued a fixed ration of them that morning. Engines fired up with a whine as rotors came to speed. Can you tell me what's going on? I had to try.
You'll all be briefed on arrival.
Okay. Was all she gave me before putting heavy earphones over her ears against the growing noise. I followed her lead with a pair hanging next to me. Mine didn't have the microphone, hers did. My stomach lagged as the pilot lifted off. Briefed. That didn't sound good. That had a distinct military sound to it. I'm not very military. Well, okay, I'm not at all military. I'm a computer gamer. A great one at that. But when it really came down to it, computer games had been the main thing I excelled at. And math, sure, but math is boring. Some coding, which I'd never be allowed to use again. Most of the other classes were just boring. Gaming had always been a focal point in my life. I can find patterns like nobody's business, learning how to game the systems. When the first VR games hit big, I was ready. I was a star. I could always figure out the tricks to maximize results without as much of the tedious grinding. Some of it was math. Minimize this and maximize that, compare the damage per second of one weapon to another. Some of it was noticing patterns and finding loopholes to exploit. Then, Second Scape came out, a VR game which overlapped game aspects with the real world, part virtual reality and part augmented reality. It was genius from a marketing perspective. Real-world obstacles became challenges to navigate, and visual overlays could transform mundane objects into more interesting treasures or tools or weapons. It was huge. Hundreds of thousands of people played. Then it was millions. The more bleak daily life got for people and the more stomach-turning the news, the more people escaped into a world they felt they had more control over. Secondscape had a truly slick way of taking everyday objects and turning them into dual purpose things. You could buy and sell real life objects for what they did in game. Money connected in multiple ways, several of which were designed to turn in-game purchases into revenue streams for the game company. But that didn't go the way they expected. People logged in from around the world as it replaced the old-fashioned social media networks. Language translation and currency conversion happened in the background, so a woman selling ceramic cats in China could tell me a price in yuan and I'd hear it translated in real time into dollars in English. It was supposed to make language barriers a thing of the past, and I guess it accomplished that. It was also supposed to globalize markets by taking currency exchange hassles out of the way. There was this odd thing where you could ask that Chinese woman what those cats cost in euros or Philippine pesos. Now, automatic translations are cool. Automatic translations are cool, don't get me wrong, but sometimes you take You take a paragraph in English, translate it to Russian, then translate that to Japanese, and then from there back to English. Then you laugh at the results. Sometimes they're kind of strange.
Hmm.
Harmon is very confused. I don't understand how he's the one that's confused when he did the request. He tricked us. It's like he tricked us with no plan. He's the wild card. Okay. Sorry, I had to get back to it. All right. As it happened, something similar happened with currency conversions. Translate something through enough countries quickly enough, and the amount you got back could be greater or lesser than the amount you started with. It was a fun little cheat. Finding the patterns took math and patience and some clever coding and some time to kill. What can I say? I was in college, and I had those. Attention to detail matters, too. It was probably just one stupid missed comma. After my arrest, I never got to look at my code again. I guess it looped somewhere I hadn't expected. I thought it was an amusing thing to play around with, find an extra percent here or there. Then there was the morning I woke up to see that accounts had been replicating for each transaction. That wasn't supposed to happen. Honest. Buying currency or of other countries to mess with exchange rates is currency manipulation. That gets you a prison sentence. Don't do it. Public service announcement complete. Agent Wald's greatest talent, on the other hand, seemed to be sitting in silence. But she breathed, so she wasn't some science fiction android. Nobody makes them that realistic. She just sat there, opposite me, but offset a little, looking through a window further ahead. She blinked. She swallowed. Her eyes shifted from place to place now and then. Her hands shifted on her lap, but her expression, reflected in the glass, never changed. It got creepy as the flight went on. I'd say it was about 45 minutes of that before we landed. Not like I had a watch. We had to wait more while rotors slowed before the hatch hinged open. We landed on the roof of an office building. I didn't recognize the surrounding buildings. It wasn't a New York skyline. I could figure that much out. 2 more agents stood by a door labeled stairs. I didn't need Agent Wald's prodding to know where to go, but that didn't stop her from providing it.
Let's go,
She said in a voice that was anything but encouraging. A cold wind offered additional incentive. The 2 agents bookended us down the 3 flights of stairs, where another door opened onto what could have been any corporate cubicle farm. People scurried out of the way, creating a clear path to a conference room.
Wait here,
Agent Wald warned before she closed the door and left me alone in the room. 18 words total. Come on, the math isn't that hard. And it isn't like I didn't have time to keep count. So I had a conference room to myself. A plastic pitcher of water sat next to a short stack of recyclable cups. I tried the communications panel at the center of the table. Disabled. As if I were some criminal they couldn't trust. Yeah, I didn't blame them. They left me waiting a while, so I helped myself to water. They wouldn't have brought me here just to poison me. I sat back in one of the cushy chairs and propped all my all-white prison sneakers up on another. Propped my chairs and propped my all-white prisons. Okay. If they were going to make me wait, make myself comfortable. What?
Up on another.
Up on another. And man, those chairs were pretty kick. Sure, maybe I was biased because the only padded surface I'd had for the last 2.5 years was a thin mat. Hardly even something you'd call a mattress, but still, kick chairs. When the suit and tie parade began, I made a point not to sit up straight. They'd let me wait. What were they going to do? Arrest me for being disrespectful? They all sat down along the other side of the table. I turned a little, laced my fingers, and gave them my very best "was up" nod. I think I was supposed to feel intimidated, but if so, it wasn't working. It was feeling good. They should have kept Agent McSternface.
Richard Danberg?
One of them began. I prefer Mr. Danberg or Rick, I explained, not sure where the cockiness was coming from or how long until it ran out. They wanted something from me, something they needed me for, and McSternface, her new name as long as she didn't come into the room, didn't like me being involved. That right there made me determined to play this up. Plus, I couldn't help but screw with the guy. He looked every bit the formal type, who would go for Mr. Danberg not Rick. The full route would be tedious for him. First point to me. Take that, G-Man. All right, and let's see. This is Agent William Thomas, bureaucrat with clout and power, a younger, heavier Donald Sutherland. Okay.
I am Secret Service Director William Thomas,
he continued, nonplussed. I might have scored that one too early.
A situation has arisen that we need your assistance with.
Oh? Okay. He was better at the nonplussed thing. But I tried anyway.
Agent Smith, fill him in.
Agent Smith. Really? This guy couldn't have been more than a few years older than I was. His hair screamed company man, and his skin was paler than mine. And that's saying something. At least I wasn't the scrawniest-looking guy at the table, for the first time in a while. Are you familiar with Riftworlds Online? Agent Smith had a nasal voice, that annoying kind of voice where you want to tell the kid to speak from the diaphragm. No, I haven't had anything to do with anything online in a couple years. Well, things have advanced since Secondscape. Riftworlds Online took it to the next level with a direct brain interface. This, you can't run bots on. I heard those were coming. Not coming, he corrected. Here. Riftworlds launched a week ago. The biggest game launch in history. The first few days, everything went well, and good reviews made it even more popular. 4 days ago, they started a tournament. Also the biggest. As of 2 days ago, people are unable to log out. The first few people tried disconnecting players physically. What? The first few times people tried disconnecting players physically, those players died. There are approximately 120 million people globally trapped in the game and unable to get out. Well, damn. That was the first thought in my head. I said it a couple seconds later. And how is that my problem? The door opened and McSternface ushered in a woman in a blue-gray suit with an American flag lapel pin. President Hearn. Everyone at the table stood. That was enough to get me to sit up properly. I probably should have stood. I voted for her. Okay, so you're President of the United States, I guess.
Okay.
Men shifted positions and she sat across from me. Things had just gotten a lot more real.
Agent Smith was just explaining the situation, Director Thomas said. Mr. Danberg was just asking how it was his how it was his problem.
Ha! I'd made him say my name the way I wanted after all. I'll admit I felt smug about it, but also confused and a little intimidated by the president's presence. But come on, she was the president. I think that's fair.
They told you about the people trapped in the game, right?
She asked with the same majestic voice she'd campaigned with. I'm sure she's given a lot of speeches since her inauguration, but I've missed most of them. Yes, Madam President. Hey, I can be polite and respectful, aside from the not standing up part.
And that people are dying?
Yes.
We think they're dying because their avatars are dying.
Now, that's taking realism too far. I didn't want to be that immersed in the game. Excuse me.
That is where you come in, Mr. Danberg.
Hey, I had nothing to do with this. If prison wasn't a good enough alibi, what was?
Nobody is blaming you, Mr. Danberg. Far from it. Right now, we're not sure who to blame, but we have a lot of people working on that, and we're not the only ones. No, this is about something more. Sorry, no, this is about something more close to home.
I raised an eyebrow, still not understanding the connection.
My daughter is inside the game,
She said with a resignation out of character for the woman I'd voted for. I'm sorry. I know, kind of lame. I don't know what else to say.
So that is why you are here. I have a deal to offer you, Mr. Danberg.
She already had my attention, but that really brought it to focus. All right, 1 second, I have to... Ooh, it's getting hot in here, guys. It was a lot to take in. Okay,
She already had my attention, but she really brought it to focus.
Yeah. She already had my attention, but that really brought it to focus.
Our best resources are working on fixing the problem. In the meantime, I need a way to keep her safe. If you go into the game, find her and keep her safe until we can get everyone out, then I will officially pardon you. You will be a free man with no felony conviction. You will be a free man with no felony conviction on your record.
It was a lot to take in. For a moment, I just sat there like an idiot, trying to think what to say. Why me? Was the best I ended up coming up with. I've never played the game.
Because they tell me you're the best. Because she's my daughter, and I need her kept safe. You've never had a child, but if you did, you would understand. And I want the best. So that's you.
Appeal to my ego. That was low. Hook me up with a leveled up avatar with good gear? It couldn't hurt to find out more.
The game doesn't work that's not okay. So.
The game doesn't work that way, Smith explained. Each player can have only one avatar. Nobody else can log in to another person's. They're genetically tagged. You'll have to go in at level 1. So people have been leveling up for a week, and for the last couple of days, people haven't been able to get out, so they've probably been leveling up even faster. I go in at level 1, and if I die in-game, I die for real. And if I can find her and keep her safe and not get killed myself, or however long it takes for you to fix things from the outside, I get let out about 5 years early and don't have to tell future employers I'm a felon? Is that what you're saying?
There will still be restrictions to your computer access afterwards,
Thomas added. You know, you're really not selling this well. No computer restrictions afterwards. I'm not going to mess up like that again. Saying no computer access is saying second-class citizen.
She's my daughter, Dr. Danberg, and you're supposed to be the best. If that's not the case, if you're not good enough, give us the name of someone who can do it, and I'll have you flown back to Otisville.
Oh, that was not fair. Come on. I took my time running over pros and cons. If I refused, I'd go back to prison, and someone would probably make sure parole hearings went poorly. Once I got out, I'd have a hard time getting any kind of tolerable or worthwhile job. If I did it, I'd either die or come out a hero, with the president and her daughter both owing me, plus a pardon, albeit only a partial one if they forced the computer access restrictions. That meant 3 possibilities, 2 of which kind of sucked. I'd seen this movie. Wasn't the guy's name Snake something? The hero gets betrayed in the end, right? Hero. There's a word nobody ever used for me before. I could be the president's daughter's hero. Maybe she could keep me from getting screwed over. Risk my life against bad odds to be a hero? Me? Who was I kidding? Okay, I said anyway, to my own surprise. Wales?
Sorry, I'm lost.
We'll see about... It's right before our chapter break.
We'll see about the computer restrictions when you're both back out of the game alive.
Everyone stood, and I followed suit this time. Agent Smith led the way. Tell me more about this game and anything you have that might help me find her, I said from a reclining chair as they hooked up monitors and an IV. Not far away, an 18-year-old girl lay in an identical setup. It's comprised of 7 different virtual environments called worlds, Agent Smith lectured. Each world reflects a different game genre. The worlds are connected by portals called riftways. A central hub connects all the worlds, but there are riftways from world to world scattered all throughout the game. There's a fantasy world, a post-apocalypse world, a space opera world, steampunk, cyberpunk, superheroes, and western. I could understand the appeal right away. 7 radically different settings to play in, and probably the idea to take things from one genre and play them in another. Steampunk adventurers in space, or Old West wizards. Cool concept. The president's daughter's avatar is Elvin. She's a cleric, a healer that I know what a cleric is. Sorry, I had to explain it to Director Thomas. Anyway, her name in-game is Celeste. Before being locked in, she had left the fantasy world. We know that. She dislikes westerns and superheroes, so that narrows down a couple. Leaving 4 complete game environments to search? And I thought the odds were bad before. This was not helping. I don't think she's into punk genres. I think that makes space and post-apocalypse the best places to start, Smith suggested. 50-50 was better, at least. Leads and IVs ran all over me. They asked me if I was ready. I lied and said I was. They put a blindfold/visor-like thing around my head that covered my eyes and ears. Did a fantastic job of blocking out all outside sound. I could barely hear my own voice when I asked, "How long will it take to get started?" Nobody answered. Instead, every sense went dark, or silent, or whatever you'd call them, getting no sensation whatsoever. And that's that. Okay, let's see.
He tight.
Sending in like 3 minutes and fuck, it's rough, but should be fun as hell. Okay.
What is it?
Harmon is sending a preview of his newest book.
Oh, cool. Rough as hell.
So, Annie.
Yes?
What did you do today?
I feel like that's a trick question.
Oh.
Like, I feel like I did something bad and you know it.
No.
And you're like waiting to
I know you did something bad. But, you know, that's just an everyday thing for you. So,
Aww. I'm just a naughty little Harry Potter. That's just what I am. Yes, I'm Harry Potter.
Let's see what's going on in the chat. By the way, how do you guys feel about Riftworlds? I I actually kind of liked it. I think that the writing is good. I didn't see any typos. I like the main character. He's kind of interesting, kind of smarmy, but it's okay. Yes, Harmon, YouTube. Yeah, it sounds pretty interesting. So again, remember, guys, we have the link in the description below for Riftworlds Online Book 1, and Harmon has sent his script to us. So here goes. Hopefully he'll jump in to the hangout and not be a little pussy. There he is. He's in the chat.
Betty White said she doesn't know why people use the term pussy for weakness because dicks are way weaker than pussies.
Who said this?
Betty White. She said pussies can really take a pounding.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know why it turned out that way. You can't really like hit anybody with a pussy though. Uh-oh. Oh no, my computer died. Take the charger.
Sorry, guys. The laptop died. Jeff's getting the charger. I just said it loud so they could hear me. Oh. Sorry about that, guys.
Maybe Annie should be narrator.
Okay.
Is it third person? Did you look at it already?
No, I haven't looked at it. Prologue. Nosy. You are a badass. You are a badass. He wasn't technically trying to do anything, and besides, it was just a sex doll. Why did they care so much about a goddamn sex doll? Why do they care so much about a goddamn sex doll?
Yeah. So is it third person? Can you narrate?
You are a badass. You are a badass. I can't tell. Sam, no, yes, it is. Sam sort of had a superpower, albeit one that wasn't very strong, so a shit power, as he mentally referred to it.
Okay. Can you hand me my Kindle?
Would you hand me the door? Thank you. Okay. No pants in the booth. It's the rules.
Here we go. I'm back, guys. Sorry. Now we get to look at Annie's butt.
Whoop, whoop.
Instead of mine. All right, cool. Okay, so I'm Sam. Harmon, give us some direction, Harmon. Who are these people? I'll trade you your coffee for my drink.
that time.
All right. Are you reading my messages here, Jeff? No. Can you read me? No. There's only Sam and a female police officer, a strong man, and another dude. Okay. Cool. That's all the direction you got? And it is ironic, hip-hop inspired. Okay. So Sam is just a dude, I guess. We're just gonna go with it. Sam, female police officer, strong man, and another dude.
Okay.
Okay. So start us off with a prologue.
Prologue. Nosy.
You are a badass. You are a badass.
Nope. The verbal affirmation didn't help Sam feel any tougher. Not with a motherfucking Centralian popo on his ass. Exemplars that should have caught up with him by now. But the crowd was thick, and besides, and shit, he didn't do anything. Well, not really. He wasn't technically trying to do anything, and besides, it was just a sex doll. What did they care so much about a goddamn sex doll? Sam sort of had a superpower, albeit one that wasn't very strong. So a shit power, as he mentally referred to it. It could have been stronger if Sam had been born just a bit different. Maybe some different DNA or whatever. Exemplar versus non-exemplar? Sam was the latter, meaning he wasn't superpowered, but he did have the propensity for a superpower, his being keen sense of smell. A stupid fucking power, but it had proven handy several times, especially with women. And yes, women smelled great. But Sam could sometimes sense things about their moods or feelings with just a sniffer, with just his sniffer. And his sniffer had also gotten him out of a few strange situations, potential bar hookups that could have gone way wrong had Sam not sensed that shit was iffy.
Oh.
Still, he was a non-exemplar. Which was a nice way to say he was half-powered, part of an entire class of people who were, ostracized. Well, not so badly, at least, in Centralia, but they definitely weren't as badass as exemplars. People with actual superpowers.
Fuckers.
Sam whispered as he crashed into a man with a shoulder span of a freaking park bench. If only Sam's sort of power had an actual usage. If only his power was strong enough to classify him as an exemplar. But nope. He was a second-class denizen, a second-class asshole being chased by Centralian cops who were now...
Shit!
Sam hissed as he saw one of the peace officers. How the fuck did they get that name? Lift into the air over the crowd, spot him, and come racing down. He dove out of the way of the flying exemplar just in time, his nose cracking against some hot lady's knee. Not stoked to have some duke knock her over, the innocent bystanders started punching at Sam. Sorry, what?
Some dude.
Oh, dude.
Some duke.
What did I say, duke?
Yeah.
Not stoked to have some dude knock her over, the innocent bystandress started punching at Sam as he tried to push her off of him, as the Centralian popo closed in, as he became a victim of the system.
I've got a bomb!
Sam shouted, his hands in his pocket.
Shit. No, I don't. Sorry!
He cried out, his heart twisting in his chest as people started to clear out, shrieking, panic, public disorder. People started to clear out, shrieking, panic, public disorder, public enemy in the form of a guy with the worst shit power ever. His hands over his head to protect from projectiles. You bet your ass they were coming. Sam continued to charge through the crowd, just trying to get clear, to catch his head, to find a place where it was safe for him to scream.
I'm not a criminal!
But we all know Sam was a criminal. He broke the law. Criminals break laws, and Sam impersonated a superpowered, and Sam impersonated a superpowered, an exemplar, as they were known in Centralia. And aside from that, a group of school children saw him in the act. But it was consensual. Of course it was. Sam had a damn problem. He knew. His sex doll, if she had a mind, would have known. His parents knew it. And now? A bolt of lightning cut him down and left Sam's legs twitching. As much as he tried to stand, it was impossible. The dude was beyond fucked. And that was before the strong man landed before him, cracks in the pavement rippling towards Sam's face.
This him?
The big man said as he lifted Sam in a single hand, holding him high in the air. Sam's arms and legs dangled at his side, defeated.
That's him,
said a clean-shaven stiff with a crew cut and a chin scar. This was the flying man, which meant that there was one more. The lightning wielder also stepped forward, a curvaceous woman with enough breastery to go around. Sparks of electricity fizzled around her, and with a twisted smile on her bitchy face, she introduced the strong man to toss Sam in the. She instructed the strong man to toss Sam in the air, just a little bit. As he fell from the air, his arms flinging, the woman cut Sam down with a bolt of electricity that nearly killed him. Sam's knees hit the pavement, smoke straight up billowing off his back. The non-exemplar fell forward, seemingly dead to the world, where he cracked his nose on the pavement. And that was the moment in which Sam would, just hours from now, realize everything changed. Forever. Forever, ever. A rush of smells came to Sam's sniffer, the scents overwhelming him. He knew that the female police officer with the lightning power was cheating on her husband. The strong man was secretly in love with the flying guy, even though the flying dude was straight. The flying exemplar was regretting the fact that he'd flown the crowd, knowing full well that he would have to fill out an incident report once he got to his Centralian station. Tears streamed down Sam's face. The smells, the glorious smells. Something was different about his nose, about the smells, something more intense, something that told him stories of the people around him that he could never have fathomed. "You're under arrest for impersonating an exemplar," the female lightning wielder told him. She adjusted her weight to the other thigh, her breasts bouncing.
"You're a cheater,"
Sam told her, a trail of blood trickling from his nose.
"Cheater!"
"What?" the buxomly exemplar asked. Sam's nostrils flared open as he sniffed, inhaling her essence.
"For the last 6 months, you've been banging your immediate supervisor. And it's some nasty shit you two are into. Lots of butt sex. Your choice, not his. But he likes to make you happy."
"What the fuck is he talking?" Oh, sorry.
What the fuck is he talking about?
The strong man asked, his fist tensing.
"It's okay, Mr. Strongman. No one will judge you if you tell everyone the truth. There's nothing wrong with being gay."
Sorry. Fuck. Okay, here we go. Sorry. My iPad is misbehaving, Sam said, getting some blood on the ground.
"You shut your fucking mouth!"
The strong man said, his eyes flaring up.
"Please, I'm just telling you what I'm sensing.
Sam said, his eyes clenched shut. The flying exemplar had already brought Sam's hand behind his desk, and as he did, Sam bent his neck back and took a big whiff of the flying man.
You're the weakest of all of them, and you're ashamed of it, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with just having the ability to fly. And yeah, you worry too much about the paperwork, which affects your job performance,"
Sam said, his eyes still shut.
"Too much paperwork makes you look sloppy, but you already know that."
A fist connecting with his stomach, and Sam opened... Yeah, a fist connecting with his stomach, and Sam opened his eyes to see the woman had slugged him in the gut.
I don't like being hit, but you do,
he told her, sucking in big gulps of air through his nose, sensing everything around him, feeling fucking enlightened.
It's okay, though. Everyone has their thing. I would tell you my thing, but then it wouldn't be my thing. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. It's just the smells. The smells!
Sam took a big breath in.
I think he's crazy,
the strong man said.
Just tell him how you feel about him,
Sam told the muscled police officer. He nodded his head back to the flying exemplar who was holding on to his cuffs.
Sorry. Where'd it go? Cuffs. Okay. And the smells. Someone pinch my nose shut. It's too much. Everyone's secrets. Everything.
Sam said, breathing in and out deeply, trying to breathe through his mouth and trying to breathe through his mouth was still catching the scent, still catching the truth all around him. Another fist connected with Sam, this time with the side of his face, cutting the lights off instantly. The last thing he recalled was trying to reach forward with his senses as if they were an invisible force, his mind rewinding all his life experiences to the last time he felt the sensation on the front of his face. His childhood. Chapter 1. Flashback. Like 20 years ago. Like 20 years ago, Sam was playing with some friends, all of them non-exemplars, at least at the time. One would actually grow up to be an exemplar, but he just worked for an administrative department, using his Type 4 class E skill to process documents. No biggie. Anyway, like 20 years ago, Sam and his buddies were playing in a field in northern Centralia. If you go there now, the field is now in a small subdivision in the shadows of a few towering condos. Some convenience stores around too. It looked better then, when there was more nature around. Streams, lots of cool rocks too. And it was one of those cool, wet rocks that Sam slipped. And it was on one of those cool, wet rocks that Sam slips, falling on his back. The wind knocked out of him. But that's not how Sam earned his deviated septum. It was when his friend reached his hand down to help him up and pulled Sam up quickly, Sam's nose colliding with his friend's forehead. His sense of smell had been fucky ever since. That might be funky, right?
No, it's probably fucky.
His sense of smell had been fucky ever since. That was... until he got struck by a bolt of lightning by the cheating female police officer and cracked his nose against the pavement, fixing a problem he'd suffered from since childhood. And to think, all this time Sam could have been classified as an exemplar.
Okay, that's it. I like how this story's starting.
I do too. It's very entertaining.
It sounds fucky to me. Very fucky. Ugh. So that is our
Daniel Katz loves being hit. I'm going to bookmark that.
Yep. Quote him. We're gonna jump him next time we see him in public.
You said you loved
it. Okay, so that is our show for today, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Thank you, Annie, for showing us your legs.
You're so welcome. My infinite pleasure.
Yes. And thank you to Harmon Cooper for coming through, even though you were just joking about your memoir and still bringing us something cool to read. Thank you to Brian D. Howard and to Matthew Kent for requesting your books. And again, guys, if you want to check out the books that I read today, check the description in the YouTube for this YouTube video. If you are new here and you like watching us bullshit, then you should subscribe to...
So this was Harmon's memoir, after all.
Okay. See, I thought that his superhero thing was just fiction, but I guess it's autobiographical. That's pretty cool. He can smell things, and he can keep himself from what was it? From iffy ladies at the bar.
Iffy.
Yeah, something smells
Professional
iffy down there.
situation.
Yeah. So I'm
can't-
really glad that Harmon has that ability. That helps. That helps keep him out of trouble. So yeah, if you guys like this and you've never watched before, please subscribe to the channel. And if you go look at our channel, there's a ton of videos now. There's like almost 150 Sound Booth Theater lives now. So we've been going for a while. And lastly, the Discord link is in the description. So if you click on that, you can join our Discord server. And later on tonight at about 7:30, I'm going to start the second half of Chapter 1 of War Eternus 4, which it has yet to be published. Charles Dean will unfortunately probably not be able to make it because he's having technical difficulties with every piece of electronics in his home, and he's going to be kidnapped likely because obviously this has to be, some kind of conspiracy. Like, why else would everyone's electronics just go fucky?
Fucky.
Yeah. So yeah, expect Charles Dean to be kidnapped soon. But I will still be reading from War Eternus 4. So thank you guys again for coming and hanging out. Please subscribe, and I will see you at 7:30. Okay, you have to do the broadcast.
Uh-oh. Well, this is very anticlimactic. Give me that mouse.
What an ending.
Give me that mouse. Where is it?
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.